Both Meizu and LeEco are Chinese manufacturers that make some great yet affordable phones. Meizu M3 Note and LeEco LED2 are one of their latest offerings. This is Linus. Find out which phone is better for you in this full comparison review. Just before we start, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as more videos are coming out soon. When it comes to the design, both phones are made out of metal, they sport great build quality, and they look premium. The button placement is the same and they are clicky and tactile on each device. However, Meizu M3 Note is slightly more comfortable to hold in the hand due to curved edges. Both phones sport dual SIM card slots, but only M3 Note has the microSD card slot for a cheap storage expansion. As for displays, both devices sport 5.5 inches panels and they are just gorgeous to look at. However, I found the panel on the LED2 to have a slightly better sunlight legibility. It's worth mentioning that the M3 Note uses a Dynarex scratch-resistant glass and the LED2 uses a Gorilla Glass 3 protection. LeEco LED2 has an 8-megapixel selfie camera, whereas the Meizu phone has just a 5-megapixel shooter. Both phones sport notification LED lights on the top. When it comes to the capacitive buttons, these phones are completely different. The LED2 follows a more conventional trend with 3 nicely backlit buttons. On the bottom of the Meizu M3 Note there is only one button, but it has quite a few features. Firstly, it can be physically pressed as it acts as a home button. Also, it has a touchpad and it is a feature that I love and miss on some other phones. For example, you can simply tap the key and it acts as a back button. Last but definitely not least, we have a fingerprint scanner, which is fast, accurate, but the problem with it is that it does not work straight from the standby mode. That means that you have to physically press it to wake the screen up and then use your fingerprint to unlock the device. Speaking of the fingerprint scanner, LeEco LED2 has one on the back, which is also fast and accurate, and it also works straight from the standby mode. When it comes to cameras, M3 Note has a 13-megapixel shooter as opposed to 16-megapixel snapper found on the LED2. Both phones have dual LED flash and face detection autofocus systems. The LED2 is one of the first phones to ditch the 3.5mm headset jack. Instead, LeEco assures that this phone is capable of providing even better audio experience via the USB-C port, as it uses a new CDLA music standard. I have to tell you that the sound quality via the earphones is very good and the volume output is loud. Also, I found it to be slightly better than the Meizu M3 Note. Both loudspeakers are pretty good. Again, LeEco LED2 has a slight edge as the sound has more clarity and the sound does not get distorted at the highest volume settings like on the Meizu M3 Note. Also, the LED2 has the IR blaster to control devices like TVs, which is a nice little feature to have. When it comes to hardware, the LED2 is simply a more powerful phone. It uses a MediaTek Helio X20 chip, which is clocked at 2.3 GHz, 3 GB of RAM, and 32 GB of storage, which is however not expandable. The gaming performance is good but not great. If you play high-demanding games like Asphalt 8 on medium graphics, there will be no skipped frames or lag. However, once you set graphics to maximum, you should expect some occasional stutter from time to time. My review unit of the Meizu M3 Note has a quad-core MediaTek 6755 Helio P10 chip with a maximum clock speeds of 1.8 GHz, 2 GB of RAM, and 16 GB of expandable storage. I tried playing the same game on the highest graphics setting. The performance was quite horrible. There were a lot of lag, stutter, and it was practically impossible to play the game. Then I switched the graphics to medium, things gotten a lot better, but still, there were quite a few skipped frames. Therefore, LED2 is a better phone in this department. Meizu M3 Note ships with the Flyme OS 5.1, which is built on top of Android 5.1. We have a bunch of features, plenty of customization options, various tweaks and settings to play with. Just to name a few, you can choose from a variety of themes, use gesture controls which work fine, and so on. Most importantly, the Flyme OS runs fast and fluid. I didn't have a single hiccup and I really enjoyed using it on a daily basis. When it comes to the user interface of the LeEco LED2, we have the EUI 5.6, which is built on top of Android 6.0. What I love about the EUI is that you can quickly access settings toggles, adjust brightness, open or close your recent apps and so on, and you can do that all in one place by simply clicking a left capacitive button. As usual, we have some customization options, quite a few settings and tweaks to play with. Most importantly, the UI is running fast, fluid, and I didn't have a single hiccup no matter how many apps were open in the background. I have made a dedicated camera comparison of these phones and I will leave a link down below with the video. The daylight image quality is pretty much comparable in some of the images, but in most of the shots, LeEco LED2 tends to capture more detail, and it also deals with the dynamic range adjustment a lot better. Also, the colors look more natural. LeEco LED2 takes better indoor pictures too. Even though some of the images may look pretty similar, other ones are much better with more detail, sharpness, and color reproduction. The low-light camera performance is better on the LED2 again, and it usually deals better in difficult situations. The selfie cameras are pretty much comparable. As for 1080p video, neither of the phone has a significant advantage and the footage quality is comparable. I've used both devices for quite a while and neither of them has any connectivity issues. When it comes to the battery life, the Meizu M3 Note is a clear winner. A 4100 mAh unit allows you to use the phone for at least a few days depending on the usage. I can constantly get over 6 or even over 7 hours of screen on time on a mixed use. However, the phone does not support any quick charge tech as it takes over 3 hours to fully charge it. LeEco decided to stick with 3000 mAh battery and I was able to fully charge it in 1 hour and 20 minutes with the supplied charger. As for day-to-day use, I could get around 4.5 hours of screen on time on a light use and around 4 hours on heavy use of the phone. Not the best result, but pretty good for the size of the battery. Both Meizu M3 Note and LeEco LED2 are good mid-range sub-$200 phones. Both devices are well made, have nice and sharp displays, feature-rich user interfaces, and they bring a lot of value for the price. However, LeEco LED2 is a slightly better phone overall since its processor is more powerful, it comes with 3GB of RAM as standard, the camera takes better pictures, the fingerprint scanner works straight from the standby mode, and it supports quick charge feature. On the other hand, the Meizu M3 Note is slightly more comfortable to hold, it has a significantly better battery life, and there is microSD card slot for storage expansion. Also, the device has a traditional headset jack and the regular microUSB port, so you would not need to look for that only USB-C cable in the house. At the end of the day, LeEco LED2 is a better phone, but the Meizu M3 Note has some advantages too, so it can't be overlooked. Thanks for watching guys, drop me a comment down below if you have any questions, hit the like button, follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for the latest updates. See you in the next video soon.